Envoys from the United States are in Israel this week after fighting broke out in Gaza over the weekend, and new research suggests that COVID-19 vaccines may also help fight cancer. Good morning. I'm Corva Coleman from NPR News, and here are today's top stories. U.S. Envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner are visiting Israel. That's after an outburst of fighting in Gaza over the weekend threatened to derail the ceasefire. NPR's Daniel Estrin reports from Tel Aviv.
Israel says Hamas opened fire at troops Sunday, killing 2 soldiers. Israel responded with a wave of strikes, killing at least 46 Palestinians, according to Gaza hospital officials. President Trump said it appeared to be a rebel group within Hamas that launched the attacks. Israel said it would halt aid shipments to Gaza, but Israel quickly reversed course after the U.S. intervened, telling Israel and mediating countries not to harm the ceasefire and to continue aid to Gaza. That's according to a person briefed on the matter, not authorized to speak publicly. U.S. envoys Witkoff and Kushner are visiting Israel, and Vice President J.D. Vance is also expected to visit this week to negotiate the next steps in the ceasefire. Daniel Estrin, NPR News, Tel Aviv.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the U.S. military conducted another deadly strike on a boat in the Caribbean Sea. He says it was smuggling drugs, but he provided no evidence. The president of Colombia says it was a fishing boat. NPR's Luke Garrett reports.
3 men are dead after the 7th reported U.S. strike on an alleged drug smuggling boat, according to Secretary Hegseth, who said the attack left no survivors and that no U.S. forces were harmed. An unclassified video released on X shows a slender boat with motors on the stern being destroyed by an airstrike. Hegseth says the vessel was with the National Liberation Army, a Colombian rebel group and designated terrorist organization. He likened the group to al-Qaeda. Colombia's president, Gustavo Petro, denied the boat was part of a rebel group and posted on X it belonged to a, quote, humble family, lovers of the sea, from which they drew their food. The Friday strike brings the reported death toll from President Trump's military campaign against drug smuggling to at least 31. Luke Garrett, NPR News, Washington.
Officials in San Francisco are pushing back on President Trump's comments, saying he'll send National Guard troops to the city. From member station KQED, Lakshmi Sarup reports.
Bilal Mahmoud represents San Francisco's Tenderloin neighborhood on the city's Board of Supervisors. He says deploying the National Guard to the city would damage progress that's already been made in his community.
We cannot make progress in public safety unless you have the trust of the community, and sending in the National Guard at this point is going to roll back the progress of trust that we've rebuilt in this community.
Mahmoud says the city is prepared to challenge the move in court and that local officials have increased funding for the city's attorney's office in anticipation of legal fights with the Trump administration. For NPR News, I'm Lakshmi Sarah in San Francisco.
This is day 20 of the federal government shutdown. Republicans and Democrats are not in any significant talks to bring this to an end. Meanwhile, the Defense Department has shifted money to pay U.S. troops during the shutdown. Most federal workers won't get paychecks, and some, like air traffic controllers, must stay on the job. French police continue the manhunt for a brazen team of thieves. They stole priceless jewels yesterday from Paris's Louvre Museum in broad daylight. NPR's Eleanor Beardsley reports the case is taking on political tones.
The thieves pulled a moving truck with an extendable ladder alongside a wing of the museum, sawed through a window, and made off with royal jewels worth millions in a matter of 7 minutes. Speaking on the radio, French Justice Minister Gérald Darmanin says all of France feels like it's been burgled. When Notre Dame burned, it was our church burning, even if you weren't Catholic, he said. And stealing jewels from the Louvre is the same thing. We feel like we've all been robbed. While President Emmanuel Macron has promised to recover the jewels and prosecute the thieves, far-right opposition leader Jordan Bardella called the theft a humiliation for France. Just how far will the deterioration of our country go? He asked on social media platform X. Eleanor Beardsley, NPR News, Paris.
China is accusing the U.S. National Security Agency of launching a long-term cyber attack. This reportedly targets the Chinese agency that sets and broadcasts the country's official time. Ashish Valentine reports that the U.S. hasn't immediately commented on the allegation.
China's Ministry of State Security says the attack on its National Time Service Center started 3 years ago. U.S. intelligence allegedly used 42 types of cyber weapons to spy on staff members' cell phones and computer networks and steal private information from the agency. Besides setting the time, the center broadcasts information that's vital for China's communications, power, finance, and even defense. China and the US have increasingly traded allegations of cyber attacks over the past few years. Each paints the other as one of its primary cyber foes. For NPR News, I'm Ashish Valentine in Taipei.
Today is the start of Diwali, the festival of lights celebrated by Hindus, Sikhs, and Jains worldwide. But this year, the U.S. tariffs on Indian goods are making the celebration more expensive. From member station WBHM in Birmingham, Alabama, Vani Shorhi has more.
Go to a South Asian grocery store and you may notice steep price increases on staple goods like wheat flour, rice, and oil. The Trump administration added an additional 25% tariff on Indian goods in August because India continues to purchase Russian oil. Lena Mosley is a professor of politics and international affairs at Princeton University. She says the ripple effects of the tariffs are still playing out.
We're still, I think, only beginning to see the economic impact of these tariffs.
Mosley says the additional 25% is retaliatory, with the intention of shaping foreign policy and trade. For now, customers may have to make tougher choices about how this year's celebration looks and tastes. For NPR News, I'm Vahini Shori.
The COVID-19 vaccines may do more than protect people against the coronavirus. NPR's Rob Stein reports new research suggests the shots may also help fight cancer.
Researchers at the University of Florida studied more than 1,000 patients being treated for advanced lung and skin cancer and found that those who had gotten a COVID vaccine, in addition to powerful immune system drugs, were significantly more likely to survive than patients who hadn't gotten a COVID shot. The researchers say the COVID vaccines appear to help rev up the immune system to battle cancer. But more research is needed to explore how the COVID vaccines might help cancer patients. Rob Stein, NPR News.
This is NPR.